Welcome to Rappahannock Issues. I'm Tom Cohen.
And I'm David Kerr.
And we're going to be looking at topics that are of interest to our community, both regionally and to the state. Welcome to Rappahannock Issues. I'm Tom Cohen. Major issue facing our entire area is development and growth. And so this week we are going to have with us Jeff Harvey. Jeff Harvey is the Director of Planning and Zoning for Stafford County. He's been in that position for 14 years. He's been in the county for 27 years. Stafford County is going through looking at its comp plan and updating its comp plan. And so it's sort of timely. I know Spotsy is going to be doing it in the future. Everybody has to do it. And so we just thought it'd be a good topic for our area to get into. So thank you, Jeff. Thanks for coming.
You're welcome.
And I guess first thing is just sort of explain to people what is a comp plan.
A comprehensive plan is a community's vision of what they want to look like in the future. Typically, a comprehensive plan is going to look at 20, 25 years down the road, and it's going to say, okay, where do we want to have our shopping centers? Where do we want to have our industrial areas? Where do we want to have our neighborhoods and housing? And what sort of road networks do we need? And water and sewer supplies and schools do we need to accommodate all that future growth?
And there, I know there are certain state requirements as to what can be or what should be and what needs to be in the plan. So what role does the state play? Because isn't even just having one a requirement?
Yes, the state law requires that every locality in the Commonwealth, whether it's a county, city, or town, has to have a comprehensive plan. With that comprehensive plan, you have to take a look at the future growth for that time horizon that you pick for overall development. For instance, in Stafford County, our comprehensive plan is based on a 20-year time horizon. So we look at growth projections for new housing and new residents moving into the county, as well as what we estimate for future commercial and industrial development. We take that background information and we put that into our planning documents. Also, the state requires us to match our comprehensive plan with the state's transportation plan. So we're ensuring that all the efforts we're putting towards road improvements match up with what the state is requiring. Some other things that we're required to do with pursuant to state code is have affordable housing in our plan. We also have to have a reference to sea level rise and coastal management. There's a couple other things that are required in the comprehensive plan. One thing that's unique about a comprehensive plan is it's supposed to be general and broad. It's not an ordinance. It's a guide for development. So there's some room for interpretation. It's meant to be that way.
And one of the things that there's always a conflict is what you want to have growth, and how many people you want to have in versus what you're saying is the state sort of says there's certain barometers of how many people you have to sort of plan for because that's what's anticipated to be there.
Yes, so the projections that you have in your comprehensive plan have to either be based on what the state says your projected growth would be, fitting into the overall state model, or you have to have some other rational basis of how you're projecting the number of new residents you're going to have in the locality.
And what broad areas are there in the comp plan?
The comprehensive plan typically has a number of key elements, such as land use. In other words, where you want to see different types of development within the county, such as I mentioned earlier, the commercial, the residential, the industrial. Also, most comprehensive plans have a transportation element that shows the future road networks as well as improvements to existing roads that are being planned. There's also utilities planning for water and sewer. Most higher density development requires water and sewer. And then there's a section dealing with demographics that talk about not only the growth projections, but what are some of the unique features of the existing population in the county. For instance, what are the demographics by age, by race, by income, those types of things. And also, comprehensive plans often deal with the environment. Part of the state code for the Chesapeake Bay Act requires the localities in our area to accommodate for critical resources and preserving water quality.
And you brought the plan with you, which is a rather large document. How do communities communities generally go about creating the plan?
Well, first it starts with the Planning Commission. By state law, the Planning Commission is charged with establishing the comprehensive plan, making recommendations to the Board of Supervisors, who ultimately adopts it as a county document. Then the Planning Commission will oftentimes take a look at the demographics we talked about and then see where, okay, we're going to have X number of homes. Then figure out where can we best accommodate. And then they would take that information and work together with community members and other people in the county and consult with them and try to draft what they feel is a good image for the future.
And how do you actually implement it? I mean, I know from, I'll sort of take a step back, I know when the plan was first initiated and created 5 years ago, 6 years ago, we went through every committee had members to it. There was a steering committee, but it's sort of up to each community how they want to do the plan itself and any updates.
Yes, every community has its own level of involvement that it wants to have as far as community input. Every community has its own hot button issues that it wants to make sure is in the plan. So it's unique to each locality.
And with that, how do you actually implement? So everybody has some input. You say, well, in theory, we'd like to do this. How would that actually get implemented?
Once a comprehensive plan is adopted, it sort of sets out policies which can be implemented through ordinances dealing with development. It also can be implemented through the locality's capital improvements plan, which is a monetary plan to figure out how we're going to pay for the schools, roads, and other public infrastructure that we need for the locality. Some other things that help implement the comprehensive plan is individual landowner decisions on how to make investment plans, specifically where do they want to shopping centers,
And we have a little bit over a minute left. So you mentioned the CIP. Talk about how the CIP sort of fits into all of this. CIP is sort of a time frame of 10 years, whereas it's about a 20 years.
Yes, the CIP is typically part of the county's budget. Looking at the CIP, as you mentioned, it's a 10-year document, so it projects out all the public facilities that need to be built for the next 10 years. The CIP is modified every year based on the business. So you can project out to 20 years, but usually a 10-year planning horizon.
And being sound and fiscally sensible, we're going to take a first break, and after the break, we'll go back to talk more about the ideas of a comprehensive plan and how you do planning. So come back after the break.